Computer. Lights. Good morning, everyone, and happy Wednesday. All right, we've done some good stuff today. Well, we did some good stuff yesterday. So yesterday, I squared away all of my maquettes and really worked on them a lot. And we posted a picture of that. Let me see if I can bring that up for people here. No, because we've worked everything, which is the way it usually is, right? So we've anyway, I posted a new picture of my maquettes where I was doing some work on the character design stuff, right? And I feel like we should copy these anyway. So we can put them up here in illustrations because there's always a need for some kind of art, right? So we will bring that up and bring that up over here. And we'll start with this for the day. All right. So first things first, I thought I made you not 172%. Good morning, Brent. Good to see you. Manage routines. We don't have music either, do we? Look at us not being coordinated this morning. The many faces of Chang. So, yeah, I feel like I have leveled up with my characterization with this. So I wanted to kind of analyze it a little bit. Okay, you're set. That's not 20%. What's going on here? Having sort of a problem here because I'm trying to figure out. There we go. That's what you should be at. Weird. And the lights behind me are not doing the things they're supposed to be doing. We're having communication failure here. Right? I've leveled up and now I need to allot my XP points wisely. So, all right. Even Ron commented on this one, I've noticed, because that means that he thinks that it's pretty cool too. But yeah, so I'm looking at this and just kind of going, wow, this is pretty cool. The things that we did to Chang's maquette are that we've increased her eye size. I increased the eye size of all of the girls in here so that they're larger eyes, so that because that's more consistent with manga style. Looks horrible here on the maquettes, but that's all right. We don't have to worry about it. So one of the things though that I am thinking about is just looking at the patches on everybody, and then you look at the patch on Chang, and somebody has literally made a smaller patch just for Chang. So I'm kind of thinking I might actually go into Chang's design at some point in time and make a larger patch. And it looks like everybody else got a different patch. So we're doing last minute checks, last minute rundowns on all of these guys. So the next guy we're going to be working on is going to be Bennett. But I wanted to make sure that I had fixed just about everybody I could here on this one. So yeah, going ahead and hit save real quick. Let's go ahead and save it. Then we can go ahead and just delete all these cubes. We don't need these cubes. Right? And then we'll get rid of everybody but Bennett. We'll work on her next. Make sure everybody is solid. We now know that everybody is straightened out correctly on this. So, man. All right. Bennett is our first officer. Right, so let's make sure she's centered in her parameters. And then we'll center her on the floor. Okay. I actually am pretty happy with everything that's going on with her. I'm going to probably look real closely at her face to make sure all of the things look good. She's got a pointy nose. The scar that took out her left eye, that looks pretty solid. Everything looks pretty good. I don't think I need to do much work on her. I would love to make it a little longer on this, but oh, that would be good. Gets it behind the ear. That's what I'm kind of looking for here, is a little of that. That didn't go where I wanted it to. But her hair comes out on either side, so. Let's balance this out. It's looking a little weird. Now, the big thing here is we just need to remember that oh, hey, that's what we want. Ooh, ah. That's right. We can probably pull it forward like so. Yeah, actually, that's exactly what we're looking for. There we go. Now we just need to match the other side. That's it. So she's always had hair that goes like this on the bottom. And so I've always kind of felt like I want this out like that. I want this out like that. Oh, wait, look at that. I hope that didn't, yeah, it totally messed up everything. There. I haven't had an opportunity to kind of go in here and dink with this in a while. There you go. Make this sort of level. That's all right. Make you minus 30. Make you minus 30. I don't know why it. That's not bad. That's actually maybe it's time for her to have a different hairstyle. Yeah. Huh. Actually, kind of looks cute. Not what I was after, but hey. There. There we go. Now this guy, we need to. I don't know why I thought she was a blonde. She's never been a blonde, and I don't understand why I would do that. But hey, sometimes I do weird things. Because legitimately, that's what her hair should look like. All right. This could be just a little bit less wide. Like so. Same with the bangs. And it's okay that they don't cleanly go to the top here. We'll be able to fix that. I'll just draw a different thing every time. But there we go. I feel like that's a decent assessment. You may have also noticed that I have decided to put her in command colors instead of, or line colors, as the case may be. So we did some shifting of department colors. So that's a thing that we are doing. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good here. I'm going to do a quick check. We're going to do something like out to here. That didn't work. Why didn't that work? Oh, select you and then try it. Still didn't work. Oh, because it's Genesis 8. We need Genesis 2. There we go. All I did was just pick a random pose. What I'm doing is checking to make sure that the pockets stay in the right spot, roughly, and that all of the different parts of the uniform stay in the right spot, roughly. Good. That means that this maquette is ready to rock and roll. Ready for prime time or something. All right, so we'll grab and put her straight up like so. Bork, bork. Make sure she's neutral. Then we'll say save as scene subset. Angie Bennett service. Oh, knows it already exists. Yes, it does. Accept. There we go. At some point later on, when I care more, I will I will decide to do something else about this, but for right now, I'm not that interested. So, all right, let's go into my collections. I have the most amazing character design sketches, and I love them. And I just recently realized that I should use them more. I mean, sometimes there's nothing you can do, man. Emeraldus is still Emeraldus, and that will never end. And Harlock is Harlock, also never ends. Just saying. But we will go through here, and I will go for my. This is all Harlock. Character study sides. In my character studies, I've been working on um, trying to get, especially the things that I really like are Disney stuff. Disney does some good things with, like the Disney character designers are really good at really realizing expressions and doing a great job of showing, expressing emotion and things like that. So I've been kind of looking at some of their character designs to go, okay, well, how are we doing some of these expressions, right? For example, if we look at, say, Anna, right? Some good just sketches of how Anna works, right? And the idea is to make it fit with the existing protocols, right? Right. I mean, you can like all of the characters, even in anime and manga, the characters have varying dynamic things that I've been not doing in my character design. More Anna, right? There's a style to these things, but I just like things like this. I just love that smug, yes, look on his face. I mean, it reads so well. So I'm trying to kind of get into that zone here. Yep. I don't know whether you're talking about me using them all the time or you using them all the time, but yes. The problem is that I don't think them up very well. You know what I mean? I don't think them up. I'm bad at this for this mode. And so I'm trying to kind of come up with a few of these so that I can come up with just things to do. The one I used for Chang was this one, right? And I like this one, but I want more bizarre, smiley stuff, weird stuff. Anything's going to do weird, it's Bennett, right? I'm not. This one looks like this would be much more of what we would see for, say, Mayrel. She's much more serious as a character. Anyway, so I'm looking through all of these. I don't know, guys. What do we think? Think this will help us? I'm just chuckling because it's funny. Going into my morgue. There are a lot of these in the morgue. Because I collected a bunch of these. Right? Just people practicing and practicing and practicing and practicing and practicing and practicing and practicing. I mean, just over and over and over and over. I've never been this prolific, and it's frustrating. I feel like I should move these guys over. Some of these are really great and in the wrong folder. Like even the really old, I've had them for so long that you can actually see the aliasing, because I downloaded it in like 1992 when it took 3 hours to download that. I'm looking for something that has a bunch of faces on it that I can just kind of work from. Anybody want to see the dirty pair? Do 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 bam bam. I love the dirty pair. They're my favorites. They are not a right group of people. All right. Kind of wanting some. See, the problem is it never feels like I get enough, like the right kind of pictures. It's so frustrating to me. Animation study, art books. Well, we'll just pick one and just go with it. We had that one before, which I was using. We'll use it again. We'll just try to pick different pictures to do. So we'll use this guy. Oh, for your tune? Yeah. All right. We're going to use this. We're just going to pick this one, this one, this one, to kind of get a feel of what we're doing with this. Well, that's the problem that I have, is that I'm not very creative, apparently, when it comes to coming up with expressions to show personality. I always show like the same 3 ones over and over and over, and then I'm like, ooh, which I could just do that set right there, and it would give me a bunch of expressions. So it's tough to kind of. That's why I like to look at these, because they give me an idea of what I should do. So we'll go on ahead and we'll pick this here. We'll start with this. It's like a faint smile or something like that to start with. We'll just start with just a normal smile. we go. 1-1. Okay. See you in a second. All right. We'll start there. Now, I'm going to try something. We're going to, first of all, I'll bet you that if we take our eye target, which has probably driven itself all the way to Mars, here we go, and put it right here on the tip of her nose, we probably will get eyes crossed. Yes? Yes. Just like that. So you run the targets to right there, which is really like literally how we all cross our eyes in the first place. And then we see if we can't get her puffy lips or puffy cheeks. Boom. Right? Oh, ho, 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 look at that. Right? So looking at the bottom one here, she's got her cheeks puffed up. See how that's working? There's more squish and pull and stretch in this one, but I can at least get the dynamics of the cheeks going the right way. So let's lean her in, like super lean her in. She looks like she's like, oh, she's having issues. Again, looking at the expression on here, her eyes are squinted. So we're going to take her eyes, squint them, brow down, brow inner down. She's really, and we'll give her a concentrate on this, but we could probably frown more. Be like, all right, like she's serious. And it actually does a lot more squish than I thought we would. I was pretty sure we wouldn't be able to get much more of this squish. I forgot what I was doing. Oh, squint. Eyes squint. Right? I give her squinty eyes. And maybe let's make this a reasonable picture. She's blowing on like something on a desk, right? So she's going to, so there we go. Like, what is she doing? Who knows? I don't think she knows. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what she's doing. She's Bennett. She does these things. These are things that Bennett does. Like, we have no idea what the heck she's doing. So comedic as this is, we want a good place for this. So here is a good spot for it. We're going to reference this picture when we get there. So now she just looks spacey. La la la. Not the way this is going to work, but that's all right. We just haven't gone down to the mouth yet. Now, when I look at this version of this picture, again, more squish going across the top and the bottom of the picture than I am comfortable with. But I think we can do we don't need the left side until we're rendering. So what I'll probably do is okay, looking at that, we got more squish than we were hoping for in this one. Let's put the brow down. We're just putting the brow in. Now I'm going to have to exaggerate this mouth more to make it fit this sort of design bring her shoulders up. Remember that body language isn't always about or expressions are not always about the body language isn't always about the face, or expressions are not always about the face. It's movements of the body. We do all kinds of stuff by our entire body here. And I'm looking at this here expresses to me, which you can't see now because it's down here. Here we go. This expresses to me more of a crunched up. She's got her shoulders up more, right? Right? So I'm trying to mimic that over here. It looks silly on the maquette. I'm not terribly worried, right? Because I can just hit this and it'll render out that maquette, and then we'll go fix it. I like the way this is already started. It looks kind of like she's got something she's doing. So if I were to do this, oops, close the parameters panel. We'll just pick one of it's like the one shoulder down, one shoulder up. Look here, it looked like a sort of that classic what? Kind of. Except that we should probably actually bring up one eyebrow. She's looking back, right? Think about it. Yeah, looking back over her shoulder. When I look back over my shoulder, I'm like raising an eyebrow. Back and yawn. That's an important part, man. So I'm going to bring her left eyebrow up. And bring the right one down. Like that. Right? And we will exaggerate them slightly every time. Get right? I need more sleep. I definitely need more sleep. Not, I mean, part of the problem is that, we're setting up for me to take over or to start classes. And so we need that night show. And I'm fine as long as I can take a nap in the afternoon. But we had sort of a confluence of things last night. Yesterday, my yard guy was going to be here at 4. He didn't show up until almost 6. We were supposed to go to the art club. So we had to leave at 6. So we had to figure out what to do about the yard guy. Um, then got home, of course, just in time for the night show. And I was all by myself last night. There wasn't anybody on. Luna showed up for about 5 minutes, though. But she literally was the only post for last night's show. There was nobody else could join me. Everybody else was, somewhere else doing something else. And there were no watchers, so nobody was watching the show. It was like, wow, this is amazing. I am all by myself right out here. It's fine. Next one I like to see is this. This is the next one I want to try. Oh no, there, there is no obligation. Nobody has an obligation to be with me for these shows. It is totally fine. No, this one's up and that one's down. But it's not, right? In fact, they're both down like so. And this is what's tilted, right? It's all good. We always have them. That's totally what was going on with everybody else. I mean, it's not like anybody else was. So the neck is straight up. Poor. Everybody else is just having a bad time. I'm not sure Brian's dad's still with us. I think he might be moved on. So Brian has a very logical excuse for not being here. And I've got nothing to back that up other than just a feeling. But it's a pretty strong feeling. There we go. Got our head going to the left. Yeah. And Pepper has had something bad going on in his family too. So I wonder if I do concentrate like this. Can I get left up? Like so. Right? She's not looking smarmy enough yet. So start to look terrifying. It's starting to look really terrifying. That's all right. Like I said, sometimes the maquettes get completely bonked, but that's okay. No, that's not, she's not going side to side. It's a this is going to take some effort. We're going to have to go through some work over on the other side when we get here to make this work. Because right now she really looks like Mr. Bean, and that's weird. And so it's all right though. I'm hoping that that's enough information for me to at least find the original drawing over here and get into it. She looks a little less like Mr. Bean. That looks like a poker face. So I'll go with this one. It's just sort of a cool secondary. And then we will call this one good for Bennett. So I really need 6 pictures. I did a lot more for Chang. She's my lead. So kind of up for that kind of crap. So it's where we're going to do is 65,000 pictures of Chang. That makes some sense. She's the lead. But we only need 6 or so for this. So we'll do a new 8.5 by 11. I don't know why I do it. It's always going to need to be rotated. I don't know. All right. Grab these guys and we'll put them in here. We'll at least load them. Okay. The important thing here is to see whether this Bennett reads well. Oh man, that one's gonna be hard. All right. I'm gonna take all of these guys and shrink them down so they all fit on here. Oh boy. And we'll place them. That's such a Riker look right there. There. Well, so Bennett is jovial as a character, and so I kind of want to make sure that I've illustrated a little bit there on that. Alrighty. That's right. We were going to play that game, weren't we? We're going to do this. See whether that works or not. However, I'm going to stand up for a minute. Oh my goodness. Make sure nobody's over here on the other side waiting for me. Waiting for me on the other side. All right, stretching. It's a little before the time when the stretchy thingy is going to go off, but that's all right. Loosen everything up. All right, let's get in here. First, we'll do her in neutral mode. I've got this set for my Jiwa pen on black, and I'm on a vector layer as requested or recommended by Cat. That sound is the squeakiness of my brand spanking new screen protector. And I've just never realized how squeaky new screen protectors were until now. I've always done the Soryu Asuka Langley thing with her bangs like that, given the little M like Asuka has. unlike the delicateness of Cheng's jawline, we've always had sort of more of a square jawline with Bennett. Oh. You can't hear the squeaky sound? That's a bummer. It's cute. It makes it sound like I've got a brand new screen protector. And well, it is a brand new screen protector, but at least it plays its part. And this is the hard part. And it's hard because I'm having a hard time controlling the flow. There we go.
It's time to take a 2-minute break.
Now you took a 2-minute break. Adjust line width. We're going to make this slightly more narrow right here and right here. We need to thicken this one up quite a bit. The problem is can't get that to control uniformly. So sort of a best we can do with what we got, I think, is what we're going to be doing here. Now with Cheng, I put all of the actual drawing on here, so I think I will with this one as well. All for uniform bits. This is a little easier with, right? Keep practicing. That's how you do this. That's how you get to Carnegie Hall. Practicing and practicing and practicing. All right. So let's look at this one. Looking at the actual picture that we're dealing with here, we've got a lot of dynamics going on here. A lot of kind of weird setups for this. There's a lot of squish. We always talk about stretch and squish. A lot of squish going on here that's probably out of my general realm of things, but we can at least come in here and mimic sort of this for her mouth. Like she's doing something right here, right? We'll come around here and we'll do that. And I'm exaggerating a little bit more than what the maquette wanted, which makes some sense. Same thing goes kind of over here. You've got this scar. It's on her cheek. And I just want to make sure it's puffed out, right? So we're going to be kind of coming around like so, actually, on that cheek. So we kind of want to do maybe not that dramatic, because we do want them to line up. Right? So, oh, that's too much. So if we look at like the way we want the dynamics of this face to be, we're going to be sitting there kind of pushing it in like so, right? On the picture, I just now realized she's looking at the camera. Puts the eye right here. And the eyebrows are really low, like they're here. All right, so we're just going to kind of put in the scar so that it's still there. You can see it definitely. Bring that in like so. And this is where we just depart completely from the maquette. Just leave it alone, right? The maquette doesn't know what it's doing anymore. Maquette got lost. We're going to bring this eyebrow down. We want it really low, right? And the thing is that we've got kind of stress marks going across her brow like that because she's right, really squishing down on this. And I don't know why this cracks me up to think that Bennett would be like, I don't know. She's trying desperately to eat a pickle. I don't know what she's doing here. Pickle eating contest, lots of vinegar. All right, so we'll put that there. And goodness knows why she's trying to hold her breath, but there's a thing. Maybe that's the thing, is that it's hard vacuum. Maybe she's trying to hold her breath against the hard vacuum. But I feel like the eyebrows being this down makes her look mad and angry. We actually don't want that, right? So we're going to bring her eyebrows level more, like so. So this looks more like straining a little bit, like yeah. I'll even take that guy out too. She's like, the best part about this whole show is that I'm making half of these expressions. That's the best part. Think about it. Get back to me. Tell your friends. Yep. That actually is a common thing to see on an animator's desk is a mirror. It's not uncommon at all. But now we can kind of take a look at where we are so far, right? Yep, you always want to have a mirror on your animator's desks. Absolutely. It's not just Disney. It's everybody. Everybody has to have a mirror there and go, okay, and they draw it. But the maquettes, the major reason we're using these maquettes is to give us sort of a starting point that's easy to use, but also the key important piece here is that we're trying to cut time. So, major thing we're after here is cutting time. So, one of the things we can do is set up expression poses in NAS once we know we like these guys and we know what expressions we're looking for. Then I can set up expression poses and we just click them. So here's what happened, and here's why we're here. I've been looking through the pictures of Chang, and one of the problems that I'm having with Chang is that her eyes were too small. I felt like her eyes looked a little too normal. We're a comic book, they should be huge. We're manga, they should be huger. Um, but it wasn't just Chang. Looking at Bennett, when Bennett was rendered out, Bennett looked a little, she looked old. I mean, like my brain read old, like 50s, 60s old. Not like 50s and 60s. Old says me looking at 50 straight in the eyes. Um, but she also, I mean, like that's the nature of manga. If you make the eyes smaller, they look older, like getting into the geriatrics age. And none of these girls are old, old. None of them are super young, but none of them are old, old. And then whenever I finally made up an Alex, I looked at Alex and she looked like she was like 30 when I drew her out. Um, right. So I went on back to the maquettes. We had the big maquette set with all of them we had done yesterday. Remember, we had laid them all out and everything like that. We had all the maquettes, and I went back through them and I started tweaking some of the dials. And then I said, okay, but if we're tweaking the dials, they're starting to get these deep cuts under their eyes, and my brain is not sure whether they look right or not anymore. So I said, okay, that's it. I'm going to have to do a character set to make sure that I've got that they look okay. You know, well, when I did a character set, I was like, I can't think of any expressions. So I brought up this sheet of expressions and thought, I'm not doing enough stretch and pull. So we're doing a little bit of revisiting stretch and pull a little bit so that I've got a little bit more of a stretch and pull feel going to things. I don't know if you remember me talking about my one of my favorite books that has ever existed, which is this one. This is Walt Stanchfield's Drawn to Life. Walt Stanchfield was a Disney animator, and he talks in here about how to make your characters come to life by using the classic animation techniques of stretch and pull and things like that. He's the one that that brought up the idea of use adjectives, don't use nouns. So don't draw a person, don't draw a person, don't use verbs because reading a book is still not quite there. He was talking about adjectives. Use adjectives to draw because quickly is much more of an interesting thing than reading. I mean, we already know that the character is reading. The problem is, are they reading quickly? If they're reading quickly, that's a much more frenetic thing. He's, and all of a sudden you have action, you have motion. Reading a book is this. Reading quickly, and that comes from Stanchfield. And I've been thinking a lot about that and recently looking at just some of the stuff that we did with the first few pages that we did in the first two sections that we have already put out. And I realized there's just no motion to it. There's no emotion, there's no motion, there's no action going on. So we're revisiting a little bit. We're getting a little bit of practice in. We need the character sheets anyway, but we need some practice on emotions. Otherwise, I'm afraid that first comic's going to come out with everybody kind of, hello, hello, how are you? I'm doing fine. There is no life, only Zool. So, no, not forest for the trees, really. Um, there's a reason for this. And, I mean, if you look at that Chang sheet, it definitely is a level up. There's definitely something different happening in that particular sheet. But the reason that we haven't saved the file yet, the Bennett file over on Daz, is because I want to make sure that this is good before we move on. So that's what we're doing here, is just a little bit of practice. Also, some things like, who are these people? We're going to know all about these people. You will allow it for now. Who are these people? We're going to need to know these people quite a bit. Right? I mean, like, at some point here, we will know all of these guys. We won't have any problem. Nobody here will be questionable. But right now, we're on issue 1. We don't know any of these people. We don't know who they are. So, one of the missions behind here is, who are these people? Because the worst thing we can ever do in a comic is make these guys a bunch of talking heads. Something evil this way comes over on the music side. I don't know why we're so evil all of a sudden, but evil. Yeah. You got to keep me on track, my friend. And actually, I like the fact that you ask these questions and then I have to justify it. Because sometimes you ask the questions and I'm like, I don't know why I'm doing this. And we can abandon the project. But more importantly, because you ask these questions, I've been asking myself those questions. Well, Brent's going to ask me, why should I, and using you as sort of the catalyst is very useful because there are times where I'm like, well, Brent's going to get on me for doing that. Well, you know what? He's right, and I shouldn't be doing this, so I'll move on to a different project or whatever. But in this instance, I really don't want to move to a point. Right, back burner it. But we are really, really close to starting this comic. And so I'm going through and just double checking things. But again, you know how this goes with me. You've been buddies with me for long enough. There will come a point where I'll be double checking my double check, just to double check it. And you'll have to be like, no, guys, stop. And we all know that's going to happen. We know that's going to happen. Just a matter of time on this one. So, okay, this one I really want like further back, like so. Right? Really pushing this back, right? Like, she's super happy, man. If anybody's going to have like a full on belly laugh, it's going to be Bennett. Her tongue came out of the bottom of the maquette. Oh my God. Mm-hmm. Remember, we in the initial design for the comic, we had them talking to people on Moment, and they were in offices, and they were in sections, and it was like, why are we doing this? What is the point of that? Do we even need that? Right? I'm going to simplify this down, simplify this down, simplify this down. Also, this is good practice for us working on trying to get used to and acclimated there we go. Okay, so because we did this, this guy is going to come all the way back like so. Right? Just make sure we have bowed it around her. The question is, did I do that too much? I think we did. So come here, and then here, and then here. Like so. And we're going further than the maquette could handle. And that's fine. We know the maquette needed, the maquette couldn't handle it. So we knew that. I also noted that the eye is not lined up like it should be. That's all right. Okay. Looking at the original, her eyebrows were down and like so. So I'm going to go on ahead and do that. Like this is the kind of laughing that you do, that, you know, reckless abandon laughing. And it feels already funny. So I think what I'm going to do is just do this and this and this and this and this and this and this. I think it will be better if we just simplify this line. And this line. And then bring them down. Oof. There we go. So we'll go back in and we'll have to put back in the scar. There we go. Okay. And this is where squash and pull means something, really, because I'm looking at this going, well, I feel like this should be down further, like so. Because otherwise, it gives some motion to her body. There we go. This is back to, you sure you know what pose you were running for him here? Because now we've got is Mr. Bean. So No, Captain, I didn't, in fact, change the replicator menu. Why would I do that? I thought you liked lima bean soup over and over and over and over. There. Doesn't look like Mr. Bean at all. Right? That's actually true. I'm sitting here going, and I can, in fact, do exactly what you're talking about and just pause the video. I like how smarmy she looks there. She definitely has a certain smarm going for her. We should probably put the bottom lip in, otherwise she will look male. Right. Hello, Ghost Hand. Oh, hey, Ghost Hand. Check out this picture. Hang on, let me get this picture for you. Because you'll like this. Because I have already done one set with Chang. Look at that. One set going in there for Chang. Right? No, Captain, I didn't change the coffee from regular to decaf. Chang. So we are practicing doing expressions and trying to get more expressive. And so here's Chang's pictures. And now we're doing Bennett's. I like that smarmy expression for Bennett. That's just awesome. She's so full of smarm. Right here. Smarm. Right? Captain Chang's your favorite Disney princess. Damn it. All right, let's get this last one down here, Bennett. And we will be done with Bennett. Well, we have to color Bennett, but we'll still be done. I'll have to think about. We have one more of the female characters, but then we can go on ahead and move to the male characters that we have not actually really worked on much. And I mean, like some of them have deep parts of the story in them, and we haven't really gone and worked too much on that. Like Tum is really Chang's best bud from the academy a long time ago, but we haven't really explored much of him. So we need to kind of make sure we're ready for those guys too. Of course, when I started drawing, as most male artists do back when I was 18 or 19, I only drew girls, because girls are cute. Why would you draw boys? They're not cute. So now as a grown adult who's kind of gotten over that a little, I'm sitting here going, well, I am still a little weaker on my males. I haven't put in as many hours. So I rely more heavily on the maquettes for the males. So this exercise will be good for us on that part. Where you're going on that one, that's a I should say males of my sexual alignment, obviously, because there are males who are not aligned the same way, and they're after the cute guys. They think that's a great thing. Makes total sense. So so anyway. Here we go. Mm, there we go. Absolutely. But that when and you're that's what I kind of went back and rephrased because you're right. Um, it all depends on your alignment. For me, obviously, girls were cute and guys weren't, but that's totally debatable. I mean, Pepper thinks differently completely, and that's absolutely understandable. Pepper would be making comments right now about no, right? I mean, like Pepper would be calling me to the carpet for that, and rightfully so. All right. Oh, Ryan Reynolds is awesome. I love Ryan Reynolds. But I think if I were to, and this is one of those things where when you've grown a little bit, if I were to say who I thought was super attractive, it would be Santiago Cabrera, who plays Rios in Picard, because I think he's awesome and really like he's got a certain amount of vulnerability and he's he's got a lot of sex appeal. It's cool. I dig him. He's cool. If I were differently aligned, I could totally tell that I would definitely be interested in him. Ryan Reynolds is handsome. He's funny too, which gives him a lot of points. I'm feeling kind of like that. This line needs to be pushed. Like so. And then we'll simplify this line and bring it into like here. That way I don't have to. I think this covers a multitude of sins there. And we'll just use this eraser and get rid of that. There we go. All right. We lost an eyebrow piece up here. Need this eyebrow piece right there. Otherwise, we lose a lot of the smarm. There we go. Same thing here. Now, Bennett has always been one of my favorite characters, but she's not the attractive character. Oscar Isaacs. Oh yeah. Yeah. I agree. Poe came across to me as very similar in design as Rios. Despite the fact that I think that Rios is less or is more has more pathos to him. You know what I mean? Like I feel like he's got more horrible, which makes some sense. All right, let's go back through here real quick and just do some touch up on the lines, line width, give us some strength in some areas here where we can just kind of bring up the line on this, make this a little bit sharper in some spots. It'll make it pop a little bit better too, right? Kind of go through here and do this. And we're just kind of using it like a brush and just tapping through some of this area. Another thing I want to practice is kind of how am I going to use this newfound knowledge that we have gotten from Kat, right? You know, how do we use that to our advantage? She gave us all this wonderful knowledge, right? I feel like I actually want to narrow out the top part up here, like so. And not quite as wide on this top piece right here. Yeah, he was, wasn't he? You're right. He got kind of more of a dad vibe going for him in Dune. In fact, I didn't even recognize him in Dune as Jason Isaacs, Oscar Isaacs. I mean, Jason Isaacs too. Yeah. Yeah, what did you do? It's you. You. There we go. Okay, we're gonna thicken, just tap in here like so. Tap right here. This always feels. This just feels totally like cheating right here. I feel like I'm cheating. I swear. Right, I'm just like totally tapping in here. Just tap there, tap there. Man, we get some line work going. I don't know. Just feel like I'm cheating. I love the smarm. Respect the smarm. Oh, yeah. There's so much smarm in there. It's smarmalade. Okay. Smarmalade. I think smarmalade's great. You guys just, you don't gotta, but I think smarmalade was an awesome invention. I've invented it. I take credit for it. Smarmalade. Tell your friends. Do, 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 do. Bennett. No more dad jokes now. I mean it. Anyone want a peanut? Ah! So here is one of the reigning flaws that we have with clip. And that is we're going to have to take this and we're going to have to duplicate this line. And when we do, we're going to have to come back in here and I'm just making sure there's no holes. Because no matter what, our beloved Clip Studio does not allow fill, the fill tool, on a vector layer. So just making sure that everybody's sealed up to the best of our knowledge. A smarm is awesome. Super Smarmalade. All right. Javert Bardem. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to just duplicate this layer. I'm going to stick it underneath there. And then I'm going to say rasterize. That's going to rasterize it down so that we can color it. We've got a few more minutes on this one. So we're going to go on ahead and just bring in the color codes for Bennett. We've already done the color codes for them. So all I need is my master codes. And I already know what Bennett's color codes look like. So here's Angie Bennett's color codes. I'm just going to grab that. And we'll go ahead and flat it. That frankly shocks me. I expected something to leak, and it didn't. And that's shocking to me. Okay. Oh, I made her a blonde, didn't I? Oof. Why did I do that to myself? Why would I decide to? Okay, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't. Did I make her a blonde because? Yeah, I probably made her a blonde because Mayrel is brunette now, and Mayrel used to be blonde, and I like them to be offset. That's all right. Color codes don't lie, even if apparently I do. Who knew? right? So the eye codes on this are set so that it's right eye, left eye, but this is going the other direction. So we've got to make sure we do this the correct way. This eye is brown. Otherwise, we're going to be in trouble and we're going to regret our life choices. And this eye is blue. Her eyes were naturally brown, and her replacement eye is blue. So looking at all other codes, we don't need any other codes. Well, we do need her lips. We haven't gotten in there though. Let's go ahead and take the scalia. We're going to go ahead and switch over to my technical pin. It gives me a little bit more. That is a lousy code. It's T2. Really? I feel like that's way, way, way dark for eye whites. Well, that's what this is all about. Yes. Because we'll need to go to T1, I think, on this. I feel like that T2 is not, that's just way too. Half the distance to the goal line, guys. All right. There we go. I mean, even then, that still feels really, 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 really. Okay, so there's a lighter pink that, or a darker pink that goes with the, that we will use for the scar. And one over there. So we'll take this and go in here like so, and go in here, up here, like that. And that right there. Blech. We probably should come back in here and get her eyes. Grab. There we go. I have to come back and get that scar. But it takes about 2 hours to do one of these. It's not a big deal. I've got some extra time this week because we're doing 2 shows all week. So that's at least a plus. Some extra time to kind of go back in and check in with these guys. Make sure that they're all good. Make sure we know what we're doing. Make sure everybody's a well-developed and understood character before we start getting in there, because there's 2 parts to this. When I draw my character, I think it's a T1. I think that's what I wanted. I feel like that's T1, and it's not. It's not acting like a T1, is it? But I feel like that's what I was after on this one. And the T indicates tonal. And that's a different shade of a different style of gray then the C, which are cool grays, N, which is neutral grays, and W, which are warm grays. And it's a matter of opinion because I personally like the tonal grays, but very much that Pepper likes the neutrals. Tonals are a little colder than the neutrals. The neutrals are a little warmer, and that's the reason why we get sort of this deviation on it. And we're going over just a little bit. Let's see what Alex seems to say. Aha! Alex is ready for a walk. Going a little over to fix a picture. 11:20 question mark. And then we can go a little over. Yeah, I am. I don't know if I'm hot on that color code combo, but yeah. All right. Okay. And we'll pick up the color code of the emergency line. Because really, I think the emergency line's pretty much all that we're going to be able to see. The rest of this is questionable whether it's open to the universe or not, and we'll end up bleeding all over the place like that. Undo. There we go. So I've been not necessarily. No. Undo. That one. There we go. Har, har, har. She even looks like she's saying har, har, har. All right, whatever. Chuckle, chuckle, chuckle. Yeah, we're just doing expressions, so this isn't full body. So I don't think I need to worry that much about it. I'm not 100% sure, though. I think I might want 3 sets of color codes, though, because I'm realizing I use the old color codes for I didn't use these color codes for Chang. I used the old ones, which is right. That's not the one. Where's her old color codes? Because I had older color codes that went with Bennett. And the old codes read differently. We don't have the old codes. Oh. Doesn't look like we have the old codes anymore. Well, you know what? It's better that way. It's better that way. It's better. Yeah. Yeah, we don't have Angie's old codes. That's fine. That's fine. Well, no. Here we go. It may not be better that way because I kind of like being able to do these 2 code pieces. They were cool because it added a level. So I'll see you tonight and tomorrow, my friend. Have a good evening. Ghost Hand, I don't know if you're still with me or not, but if you are, I'll see you later too. I feel like I picked better color codes for this. Like, if we were to do this, what would that look like? Well, actually, not bad, right? That's pretty decent subcolor code. I don't have a problem with that. So we will. Yeah. That's not bad. Part of the reason we're doing this, though, is I'm looking at this going, her face just doesn't seem. I don't know. I may want to redo this. I'll have to see. Okay, guys. I think we're gonna. This is a good stopping point for me because I'm not sure now. We did a good job with her on this, but I'm not happy with like her chin. She's just got a big thick chin, and I feel like that's not. I feel like I've taken away something from her, so I think I might want to go back to the maquette and look at it some more. So that was the point of this exercise. 2 hours wasted is better than having to go through a character change 6 issues down and people go, did you ever notice that she got plastic surgery somewhere between episode 3 and 4? And I say, well, so that happened. So anyway, I'm gonna go on ahead and go on my walk with Alex and see what he wants to do and see if we'll see what happens, and I'll come back here and I may readjust her jaw. We'll have to see. In the meantime, everybody, thank you for joining me. It was good to have you guys here on the show, and I'll see you tonight at 10 o'clock Mountain Time when we do QuaCk. When all the things that we are quacked up to do. Until then, keep your eyes on the stars. Bye-bye.
computer. Good night.